Hi, and welcome to Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, your go to platform for ambitious women who are ready to take the business world by storm. I'm your host, Angel France, and each week we'll dive into the latest strategies, stories, and success secrets from the most inspiring female entrepreneurs around the world. Whether you're just starting out or scaling up, this is your space to connect, learn, and grow alongside a community of trailblazing women who, just like you, they are making their mark in the world of business. From personal branding to powerhouse marketing, from leadership to lifestyle tips, we've got you covered. So get ready to ignite your passion, fuel your purpose, and unlock your potential with Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. Let's make this journey together and turn your entrepreneurial dreams into reality. Hey guys, and welcome. Oh my God, today I am super excited at Female Entrepreneurs Magazine podcast. You know, this podcast is all about where we celebrate these incredible stories and these incredible women that are transforming lives in businesses. And today's guest is a certified master life coach who turns her own personal journey into a mission to heal and empower mother and daughter relationships. You know what? Born to immigrant parents and in an arranged marriage. So things were a little of a challenge at times, but she was able to mend herself through these with tools. Her mother didn't have those tools, but she has tools. And that's what she does with you. She didn't let any of those things define her. At just age 19, she embarked on a quest to break the cycle of trauma and rebuild her relationship with her mother. And in doing so, transformed her whole entire life. After decades of success in the corporate marketing industry, she's made a bold pivot in 2021. Cannot wait to hear about this. Leaving it all behind to pursue her passion of helping others just like you heal those generational wounds. Now, with hundreds of success stories underneath her belt, you know what? Heidi Carlson is a lasered focused woman on making a global impact on nurturing and transforming your mother and daughter bond. So let's go ahead and welcome and dive deep in with Heidi Carlson. Hey, Heidi, how are you?
I'm doing so good. How are you doing today?
Really good. Really good.
I'm really happy to be here.
This is such an intriguing topic, and I love the story, but I want to hear from you how you transitioned from the corporate industry
hmm
and going in. I mean, it's just since 2021, correct, that you did this?
hmm
And how
Yeah.
you transitioned into the entrepreneur that you are today?
Yeah. So I spent my career in the corporate industry in corporate marketing, a few decades actually. But in that same time, I started personal development work at age 19, and I dove in and I was on a lifelong journey. As you mentioned, I grew up with parents who were arranged and had a really difficult marriage. They definitely loved us and did their best, but there was a lot that I did not learn growing up, definitely around relationships. And so I knew at a really young age that things I would need, there was work that needed to be done for myself so I can learn how to have healthy relationships. And so I dove into personal development work at age 19, actually before I started my career. And I continued that journey my whole life, just started with therapy, then coaching programs, workshops, all the things. I loved it. And I just soaked it in and I kept growing and healing. And in parallel, I was doing my marketing career, which I loved. And I knew there would be a time in my life where I would pivot into the self-help field in some way. I just didn't know what that would look like. And when I was exposed to coaching about, I would say 10 or 15 years ago, I really started to feel like that resonated a lot with me. From a client perspective, I loved it, but I also felt like, wow, like this is maybe where I might want to go one day. And so fast forward 2021, we're in COVID and the world is struggling, right? Like relationships are struggling, families are struggling, children are struggling, people are dying. And I'm such a huge empath, and my heart was like literally bleeding. Like I just didn't even know what to do with myself. I even created an Instagram account just to try and help people, and I was throwing content out because I'm really savvy with self-help content. And then that led to, actually, I think I'm ready to switch careers. And so I did my research around the whole coaching industry, if that was really where I wanted to go. I decided in 2021 through my research and talking with people and interviewing that that's where I wanted to go. So I slowly started phasing out my marketing career, and then I joined a 9-month coaching training program where I graduated in 2022, and then I launched my business, Heidi Carlson Coaching, and right after that, where I specialize in mother-daughter relationships and help women heal their mother wounds.
I love.
So I know people are curious, like, how did you end up in coaching when you were in corporate marketing? But I really was doing both. I was really in the self-help, that personal development field my whole life. And so I had done a ton of work. I've helped a lot of people along my way, along my journey. I knew I had a gift. I knew I could really help and make a big impact with people. And so it was a really natural transition for me.
I love your niche. I love how you niche down. It's very, yeah, it's not very wide. It's something that we all have to deal with. And at some point in your life, and sometimes it's an ongoing process. Do you agree with the mother-daughter relationship?
Absolutely. I love coaching across all relationships. I do have clients that I coach on marriage, separation, parenting, etc. But I decided to specialize in mother-daughter relationships because, well, that resonates deeply with me. I actually started therapy at 19 because of my relationship with my mother. We had things got really difficult when I became an adult. And I really struggled in, how do I show up in this relationship? How do I have a healthy relationship with my mom? And I know from firsthand experience that just tore me apart when our relationship was, I wasn't meeting her needs. I felt like I was a bad daughter. I had guilt. Had self-sabotaging thoughts. I didn't feel like I could be myself and meet my mom's needs. And that was a huge struggle for me, to honor myself and have a good relationship with my mom. And so I started therapy at 19 to work on my relationship with my mother. And through that, and then becoming a coach, I realized that where I feel I can make the biggest impact is helping women heal mother wounds. Because when they heal their mother wounds, well, they're being set free and they're learning how to build powerful relationships. But also, if they're also becoming a parent or are a parent, they're actually learning how to raise their children in a more secure way, and trying to minimize the likelihood of mother wounds and impacting future generations.
Yeah. And don't you feel
Yeah,
that how it impacts the business too? When you have those relationships built upon, it helps the business that they're in as well.
100%. So the way we show up, so our upbringing really shapes who we show up, how it really shapes how we show up in life. And that's in relationships, in marriage, in parenting, in business, and entrepreneurship, everywhere. So if you have a mother wound, let's say, boundaries, that could be you don't have any boundaries, or you have weak boundaries or inconsistent boundaries. Those are going to impact you everywhere, especially in entrepreneurship, when clients are trying to get a bit more out of you, or trying to get more stuff for free, or trying to get more of your time. And you're struggling to set boundaries and say, like, actually, this is the time limit that we have for the contract we have, et cetera. So absolutely, the way we show up in life absolutely also impacts the way we show up in business.
I
Yeah.
love it. That is so true.
Mhm.
So, what advice do you have? Because you started, I'm jumping back a little bit, because you started your business in 2021, 2022. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was, well, yeah, end of 2022. Yeah.
Okay. So, for people who are just starting out, I mean, you have about a 2-year business right now. I mean, you've been doing it forever, but 2 years.
Mhm.
Tell me if there were any struggles and how you overcame them, or any suggestions you have for somebody who's new in a business or thinking about it.
Yeah, I would say that when you're starting a business, you really want to understand what your why is, because if you're going to become an entrepreneur, it's a tough journey. You're working by yourself, you're isolated, you theoretically have no colleagues, no coworkers, you are making all decisions theoretically by yourself. You have to figure out how to create a business, what do I need, what offerings, I mean, just so many things. And so you want to make sure that the business that you're creating really you have a strong why, like you really have a purpose and a passion as to why you want to do this. Like for me, I have a huge purpose of this is absolutely where I'm supposed to be for the rest of my life, coaching and helping people. um, that's the first thing, because then when you have really difficult days or even weeks or even months where you're having self-doubt or you're having difficulty getting clients, or a client is not pleased with your work, you can go back to the why as to why you're doing this, right? So if you don't have a strong why, it could be really difficult for you to keep moving your business forward, because when things are hard, you may not have the strength and awareness and purpose to keep moving forward. Um, Number two, I would say it's extremely important to understand like what your weaknesses are. Are you going to fall into imposter syndrome? Do you feel not good enough? Do you struggle with effective communication? Because all those things are going to impact how you communicate with clients, how you're communicating your business, maybe your messaging. And so really just understanding where your weaknesses are and which ones do you need to address to make sure that they don't get in the way of building your business. Um, Self-sabotage and imposter syndrome are extremely common in entrepreneurship, and it's important to like try and nip it early on versus address it a year and a half into your business and trying to figure out why it came up. The other thing I would say is connect with other entrepreneurs. Find a group, find a business group, a Facebook group, a meetup group, join a chamber of commerce, but find like people where you can bounce ideas off of and collaborate with, and even get support from when days are hard, so you don't feel like you're alone every day, right? So those are some of the key points that I would share.
I love that. And so I'm going to backtrack again. So I'm actually going to bring in what you do into what you just said about imposter syndrome, communication, and connections. From your perspective and what you've seen, don't you see that mother-daughter relationship affects all those things as well?
It
If
does.
possible.
So, yeah. So we are each unique beings. We're each raised unique ways. We have unique parents. We are unique in ourselves. So we have different experiences growing up. So we could all grow up with some form of neglect, but it could impact us in different ways. And so I would say, theoretically, if you have imposter syndrome, you probably were raised to not have you're probably raised with some form of neglect, emotional neglect, physical neglect, suppressed. You weren't, your voice wasn't respected. There's something that was probably there that was kind of keeping you down. And so when you go into entrepreneurship and you're facing imposter syndrome, it's keeping you down. It's doing the same thing. And so it's stemming from somewhere theoretically in your upbringing where you weren't seen as strong and valuable and confident and you could accomplish anything.
I love that. That is so,
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Now, knowing what you know now in business, I mean, you had a successful marketing degree, a successful marketing business that you were working on with in a corporation. So then you went entrepreneur. So what you've learned now in business, in the corporate world, and also now as an entrepreneur, what would you go back and tell your 18-year-old self?
I would tell my 18-year-old self that it's important to ensure that you have healthy boundaries, that you self-prioritize, that you have some key, what is it? Basically that, so when you self-prioritize yourself, when you self-prioritize and when you have healthy boundaries, those really serve you in life and in business and in your job and wherever you show up, because you're teaching people how to have a relationship with you. So in business, you're teaching your boss and your employer how to have a relationship with you, that no, I don't work past 6 p.m. No, I don't work weekends. I'm sorry, I can't stay till 9 p.m. tonight. I had this commitment every Thursday night, right? So when we have our boundaries, it makes our relationships easier because it's very clear how to engage with us. Um, with self-prioritization, which they kind of go hand in hand, is you prioritize yourself over others. You're looking out for your needs, and not in a selfish way, but in a way of like, I need to take care of myself. Am I self-sacrificing myself for my job, or in my entrepreneurship? Am I working, way too many hours and I'm neglecting myself day to day, right? Because that's not going to work. We need to also be very mindful of, are we staying healthy? Are we staying mentally and physically healthy, right? Um, I would also say that, finding a mentor, someone that is that you look up to personally, professionally, where you can learn from, follow their journey, learn their experiences, their learnings, their best practices, their failures, because that can really set you up for success faster in life by learning from somebody who's been on your journey personally or professionally. Um, I would also say that a lot of people love to help, and it's wonderful to get advice and guidance, but really being mindful of who you're getting advice and guidance from, because a lot of people love to give advice and guidance, and it's truly from their heart. They have good intentions, but a lot of people aren't on our journey. And so it's really important to make sure that who you're getting advice from or guidance from, they're aware of your journey, they've been on your journey, they have been in your shoes, they understand your situation, versus somebody that is completely unfamiliar with your journey, stepping in, giving you advice and having no idea if it's even relevant, right?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Totally, totally amazing what you're saying. So if you had a superpower for one day, just one day, what would it be?
My superpower would be to give the world peace for a day, because I feel like if I could give the world peace for one day where everybody got along, everybody honored differences, everybody cared for other people, were kind, that would give the world a glimpse into what world peace feels like and what it looks like and what it could look like. And so maybe after that one day, maybe people's behaviors might change and they might want to be more kind and show up differently in families and in society. That's what I would do.
I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
What about, do you have any future plans for the future that's coming up that we should keep an eye out for you?
I'm As far as future plans, so I do one-on-one coaching. I also do small group coaching, but I also love events and speaking engagements and educating. So I've been doing some speaking engagements locally here and also virtually to educate and coaching. And also I'm looking to do a workshop eventually, like a mother-daughter workshop or a mother wound workshop, something along those lines.
That'll be
Yeah.
fun. That'll be
Yeah.
fun. Keep us
Yeah.
posted on that. That'll be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
I think that'd be amazing. All right. What is one fun fact about you that you want to tell us that maybe not everybody knows?
One fun fact is growing up, I loved singing. I loved writing songs. I loved singing. I sang constantly. When my house was empty, when nobody was home, I would just blast the music and belt out songs. I took singing lessons. I sang in choirs. I even somehow made it into a college gospel choir. So I had a pretty good singing voice, and I also sang at a couple weddings. So not many people know that unless they, grew up with me or have been in my close circle.
That is
Yeah.
cute. I love that. Okay. Now, what is your favorite song or songs since we're talking music? I love songs, so
Yeah. So I love songs. I love live music. I love all genres mostly. When I think about a favorite song, I really resonate more with like favorite artists because I just have so many favorite songs that it's hard to just pick one. But so I would say, my favorite artists are Dave Matthews, Pink, Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac, Bruno Mars, and I just love all their music. And
so
their music, all of their music lifts me up.
I can pick any song to put on your playlist and you're good, right?
Yes, yes.
All right, so that's what I'm gonna do. She gave me free reign. I love it.
Absolutely.
What about a favorite book?
So I mean, my favorite book as far as entrepreneurship goes would be there's a book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And I would say when I read that book, I read it a long time ago, long time ago, but I was blown away by the content. And I felt like every single human being needed to read that book because it talks about how we subconsciously create upper limits for ourselves where we subconsciously believe that we can't go any further. Like I've reached, in my entrepreneur business, I've reached, I don't know, let's just say a revenue amount or something. And that's as far as I can go. I can't take it anymore because subconsciously I've decided that I've reached my limit. So the book really speaks to how that upper limit really stops us in life. It stops us in business. It limits our success. And then it also talks about really understanding and tapping into your zone of genius. So really understanding like what are you really great at? What are you best at? Where do you like thrive? And that's where you want to really focus your time and energy. And then the areas that you're not so good at, that's where you want to either prioritize lower or find other people to help you with it. So you're not doing things in your business that are driving you absolutely crazy every day or have no idea how to do them, which by the way impacts our self-doubt, our imposter syndrome, our confidence, right? So the more we are working in our zone of genius, sets us up for more success versus working on things that we have no idea how to do on a constant basis. And by the way, don't even like them, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that. I totally
Yeah.
understand that right now. Trust me, because I have another business and I'm like, I'm at wit's end right now. So I totally understand.
Yeah.
All right, what is your non-entrepreneurial favorite book? Because you said that was your business one. What is the other one you like? I love personal too.
Oh my gosh, so many. One book that comes to mind that I read a while back is I think it's called The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. And it's all about so prior to that book, she'd always said no to everybody. She just said no to all opportunities. She just worked. She just worked, and really had no life outside of that. And so she decided that, okay, I'm going to say yes for a whole year. So anybody that asks me to do anything, I'm going to say yes. And so the book is about her saying yes and the experiences that she realized and all the joy that she experienced it from it and how it changed her life. And so I really loved that book. I also love a book called, I love the one by Glennon Doyle, Black Magic, I think it's called that. That's a great book, really good book. And then there's another good book, kind of more in the self-help field, that's called The Body Keeps Score, which is a outstanding book.
I've never
Yeah.
heard that one. Okay, I have to get that one. You're making me want to get books now. All right. So I know I always end up buying all kinds of books after I have conversations with you guys. All right, your favorite quote.
Oh my gosh, my favorite quote. Uh, hmm. Again, there's so many of those, but they're all just jumbled together. I know there's one by Maya Angelou that I love, and I can't think of what it is. I also have actually written a lot of my own quotes in my life, but I actually can't recall what they are.
So
I'm drawing a blank.
send it to me. You're gonna send me the Maya Angelou, and you're gonna send me one of
Yeah. Yeah. And I love quotes. I love quotes. Yeah.
because we have so many, they get just sort of like everywhere. So yeah, you're gonna send me both
Mhm.
so we can like surprise.
Happy to.
How
Wonderful.
do you stay motivated?
I stay motivated. I'm very passionate about the work I do. I absolutely love it. I love working with my clients. I love helping them through struggle. I love seeing them grow and witnessing their growth. So that motivates me a ton. I love connection. So when I'm connecting and networking or with my clients, I just love connecting with people. I also make sure to like check in with myself and like, how am I doing? What do I need? Right. So if I'm having a hard day, I might try and take a break and not just keep powering through. Right. I'll just be mindful that I'm kind of struggling. I need a break. So I'm going to just go outside and take a half-hour walk. So I try to be mindful of like where I'm at every day to really optimize my good energy. And then I have a pretty healthy routine. I start my mornings either with a really good workout or a nice nature walk. And during that time, I kind of mentally set myself up for the day. And then I have, I break my like priorities and goals and things down into weekly deliverables. And so I really try to just stay true to each weekly, each week's deliverables. And I don't look too far ahead where I get overwhelmed and stressed out or feel like I'm not doing enough. I really just try to be really intentional and very present in my business and really think about like, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? What's the purpose? How does this serve me? How does this serve my clients?
Good. That's awesome. I love that. That is just something that we all need to do, and we just don't take time to do it sometimes as entrepreneurs because
Yeah,
we just go, 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 go.
there's so much. Yeah, it's easy to lose sight.
And not delegate and stuff like that. We
Yeah,
have to learn how to do that as well. All
yeah.
right. So, how can people connect with you on a regular basis and find out more about you?
Yeah, so I have a website. It's HeidiCarlsonCoaching.com. And if people want to stay abreast of like events and things that I have going on, they can sign up for my newsletter on my website. As far as following my content, I post a lot of content on LinkedIn. Well, LinkedIn and then some Instagram and Facebook. So they can find me at Heidi Carlson Coaching as well on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. And those are probably the best ways to stay in touch.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we didn't discuss that you'd like to share with our audience?
I mean, I would just love to say thank you so much for this opportunity to speak with you and just kind of use this time to share and educate people on, the entrepreneurial journey and, the work that I do to try and, help women heal and grow and not live with wounds, mother wounds, and to really identify that they even have mother wounds, which are what's, holding them back in life. It actually took me, when I started my personal development journey, I didn't learn about mother wounds at age 19. I learned about mother wounds like decades later, it's like 2 decades later. And so I love being able to drive awareness to women, about like what mother wounds are, and also driving awareness that our mothers don't intentionally create these wounds. They happen subconsciously and all the things. And so I just really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you and talk about entrepreneurship.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed you, Heidi. You're just so precious. Thank you for being on. We love you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you. Bye. We'll talk soon.
Okay. Have a great day.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. I hope you found inspiration, actionable tips, and a sense of connection with our incredible community of driven women. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share the episode with fellow entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their game. Remember, your success is just the beginning, and we're here to support you in every step of the way. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, you have the power to create the business and life of your dreams. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.